Hello, Aries. Welcome to your end of September 2025 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Shuffling the cards. Oh my gosh. I had already said, oh my gosh, those are these major arcana cards. Wow. You got as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I don't really say this too often, but I think you've gotten the best spread thus far from what I've seen. The heart of the matter is that certainly when I mentioned the major arcana cards, there are only 22 out of 78. So they're in the minority. So when you get, I've only, here, this is only 6 cards and 50% of them are major arcana cards. They represent major shifts, changes. So the heart of them, and one thing to note too, astrologically, is that the solar eclipse on the 21st will be in your work sector, and the Libra energy is in your relationship area because it's your opposite sign. The heart of the matter is the High Priestess. This is a card of, that intuition, that higher self. So it's a spiritual card, it's a psychic card, and it can speak to things that are unknown but known at the same time, if you know what I mean. When you can sense that something is off, whether it's in your home environment, whether it's in the work environment, you're in the office and people are acting really strange all of a sudden, and you're like, something's up. And even if you ask people what's going on, they'll say, oh, nothing, I don't know what you're talking about, or you're crazy. That's when you start getting the gaslighting. Oh, what are you talking about? So that kind of thing could be happening. Why? Well, I don't know about that. I don't know why. But of course, we can guess if it's happening at home. If your partner is suddenly acting different, you might say, well, maybe they're having an affair. Maybe they have some kind of secret that they're afraid to, talk about because they're afraid that I'm going to get angry. Whatever, just some kind of a thing that they're keeping to themselves. It doesn't always have to be cheating, obviously. In the past position, we have the Fool card. This is kind of like leaping before you look in a certain way, or threatening to do so. You see the person is at the edge of the cliff. And it's really, the sun and the yellow background really speak to the idea of joy and adventure. I always think of the Fool as connected to Aries from the connection with April Fool's Day being April 1st. But, and also Aries is the first sign, and it's 0 degrees of, Aries is the beginning of the natal chart, the collective natal chart. But the Fool is actually connected to the planet Uranus, and it's really about doing your own thing, and that's something that Aries people like to do. But it's like with the High Priestess, it's like you're being guided by a higher force. It's not like your intellect telling you what to do. It's something greater than that. And it may even seem in some cases like it doesn't even make sense. what you're being guided to do. Because, for instance, if you're being guided to move across the country where you don't know anybody, and you don't have, you're going to quit your job, or you have no job and you're just going there, but something is telling you to go there. And people say things like that they have this kind of feeling that they're supposed to do it, this in their gut. That would be the high priestess. The fool is embracing that. The higher message is another card that is kind of similar to the high priestess, in the sense that something may be a partial truth. So you have to, it's funny, you see that it's like the creature from the, it's not the Black Lagoon, but that black monster, or whatever you want to call it, that represents probably like the shadow, which the moon can represent in and of itself. The moon can represent deception. And yet there's a light that those people are under. So it's kind of like all the cards, it has the higher frequency aspect to it, and then the lower one. And the lower one is about deception and delusion and confusion. So, unlike the Fool, there's a difference between the Fool and the Moon card, because the Fool isn't operating under this delusion that they are going towards something specific. They're just reveling in the journey. The Moon is about being confused about what they're supposed to be doing. There's a difference between not knowing something and being confused, because you can be comfortable not knowing something and you can just revel in the adventure. So there's like two sides of the coin here, and the high priestess is in the middle, and the high priestess is tuning into a higher force. And just like the mundane mind, it's more of the consciousness that is the bigger picture, if you will, and the higher calling. And in relationships, you may be at this time more willing to kind of let go of the traditional path. If you were kind of brought up like, yeah, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have a family, and then maybe your marriage didn't work out, you might have been reluctant to get divorced because you were still conditioned by some kind of conventional or traditional belief system. And now you're more willing to kind of challenge that, but you still may be unsure of what is actually even happening. What crosses you is the Five of Swords, because this can be somebody who is lying, who is even talking behind your back. Now, yes, it could be slander, but it could be their perception of you. And I feel like if this is the person that you're in a relationship with, it's like poisoning the well. It's trying to enlist people to take their side of a situation, hoping that they'll turn on you. And this can easily happen in the workplace. I always look at this as coworkers, a situation with coworkers, where I think a lot of times that happens because they feel threatened by someone who they perceive as more gifted or more better at their job, or and they fear that they will be replaced, and they're kind of in that lower frequency. So one thing, and maybe I can't articulate what this is like for you. It's a little bit hard to articulate this one. But in any case, whatever could be happening here, the bottom line is that you have the ability to decide for yourself what your truth is. The moon could be somebody else's influence that is deceptive at best, or contradictory at best, and deceptive at worst. And you don't have to believe anything that doesn't, resonate with you. What is coming in is the Nine of Cups. This is a wish fulfillment card. This is the card where, if you're, let's say you've been dating someone and they're just kind of jerking you around. I think I used the example of marriage. It doesn't have to be marriage. It can just be a relationship that doesn't feel very trustworthy. This could be calling in that person who is perfect for you. And that individual can make you feel like you won the lottery. And that's the Nine of Cups can even be a card where financial blessings are bestowed upon you. So I kind of described a little bit of difficult energy, and now I'm talking about something coming in that's very positive. And then we have as the outcome is the Ace of Cups. This can be a new beginning, a new love interest, a new job that is either creative or, like artistic, or a spiritual type of business. And it's like kind of like the energy brightens up. So maybe this is post solar eclipse. Certainly a solar eclipse is a powerful new moon, so it can, really boost your possibilities in terms of work. In the 6th house can give you a lot more opportunities in that area. So that's what I have for you, Aries. I hope that resonated with you. If you would like a private reading, I do astrology, I do the tarot, I do both together. You can find out more information at the link below. Thanks for watching. Bye.